Hello Pisces, welcome to the Guidance Corner. My name's Christelle. Let's have a look at your January 2026. Oh my goodness, Pisces. Energies. So we just welcome in spirit. I also want to, we've got these let go cards, so I'm going to use these as a final message. But when I started these readings, and I was shuffling, because I always shuffle the cards when I'm gathering your energies. I tune into your energies and I shuffle. And sometimes there are cards that fall out, and sometimes I'm just called to ignore them. Sometimes I'm called to just keep it in the back of my mind, because that's going to maybe flavour the reading in some way. And this time around, I've never been really called, I don't think, to do this. But when I placed the cards to start, I was called to look at the image on these cards, because the images on these cards are actually really beautiful. And I was really drawn, so I started off with Capricorn this time, and I was really drawn to do that. So I thought, okay, beautiful, I'll do that for all the signs. So for you Pisces, you have this beautiful, I mean the images are beautiful, very tropical, very Hawaiian to me, very islander kind of cards. And the message that I got for you Pisces was hanging in there. And it's almost like a sense that Spirit wants to ask you Pisces, are you hanging in there chilling, with joy, with patience, or are you just hanging in there? Because there's almost this sense that the more joy you can bring in your day-to-day life, there's a sense of fun, there's a sense of movement. But, you know, on a swing, we are in movement, but we're not really going anywhere. So there's this sense of, can you enjoy where you are right now, just for it being how it is, without needing to change anything. Okay, so let's see what messages Spirit has for you. As usual, we just will allow the cards that fall to fall. That's interesting. I can't remember who got Heal Your Masculine Aspect. Well, it was either Aquarius or, actually I think it was Aquarius. Okay. I think Spirit said there's a couple more to fall out, so we'll just wait for them to be ready. How are you, Pisces? That's not a couple more, Spirit. that's a packet more. So Pisces, how are you? How are you navigating change? Oof, I guess there's my answer. Oof, oof. Okay. The Hanged Man. How are you? You know, in this energy, you know, we can embrace it and accept it, or we can fight it, can't we? And when we fight it, we don't always end up where we want to be, or we don't always. Wow. So this is really interesting. And just, oh, do you know what? I'm just going to move those out of the way. We don't need. Rather you see these cards. When I did the Aquarius reading, I actually said to them, look Aquarius, I feel like this is the energies for 2026. I feel like I didn't do any readings for you know, the year ahead for 2026, because Spirit said to me, there is no point there is going to be so much change and so much movement. There's no point. And I kind of thought, oh, that's a shame. But I always listen to the notions that I'm given. But anyway, Pisces, when I did the Aquarius reading, I really said to them, I wonder how many people I'm going to refer back to your reading, because I feel that your reading was very much about this energy of 2026, the energy of the one numerology universal year. When we get to I think it's the 17th of February, that fire horse energy, and how I'm being drawn to interpret those. And it's interesting, so Pisces, you're directly after them. So you are, I'm doing this on a different day than I did theirs. But they had heal your masculine aspect, they had discover yourself anew, and they had rest and review your path. Now, if I remember correctly, they had it going the other way around. So they had rest and review your path, discover yourself anew, and heal your masculine aspect, and then they had another card after that as well. So very interesting to see how these energies might be the same or differ. But I am called to say, Pisces, please go and have a listen to their reading as well, because I think it's really going to benefit you. It might be what comes next for you, or it might be if you can embrace this energy of how are you hanging in there. You know, we can do it with joy and acceptance and patience, or we can do it, you know, grinding our teeth. And this is a general reading, so I feel that some of you might be doing it, you know, one way and others a different way. So as these readings, as I always hope these readings help you, is in just navigating the energies, giving you that heads up that you need for what the month might bring. Okay, Spirit, so where are we starting? Just going to have a quick sip of my coffee, Pisces, sorry. Okay, let's get going. So Spirit's saying we're going to start at the beginning. Not that there's a timeline, but this is a good way to start. A good place to start. Oh, thank you, Spirit. Spirit just said you haven't run through the cards. I'm too eager. I'm not hanging in there with patience. I just want to get into it. Mind you, I laugh because I always tell Spirit, well, Spirit, stop with the messages. They come back. If they come too thick and fast, then I find I jump in and I don't give myself time. So you may be feeling that way, Pisces, as well. I remember I always say with my readings, whatever happens during the readings, the interruptions, the noise, if I'm looking after, because I house sit full time, I look after people's pets and homes when they're away. So sometimes, you know, there might be a pet that, you know, interrupts the reading in one way or another. That's all information. So this feeling of talking really fast, I'm probably talking really loud as well, and just this energy of woof that I'm feeling, you know, I take that as your energy. This is your reading, Pisces. So some of you, I feel like, are wanting to ramp it up, yet the energies are not quite there. So that causes this little bit of a kind of, I can't find a word, but you know what I mean. You know, I was ready to get started. You know, already we've had sirens. We've just had an aeroplane go overhead as well. So it's noisy here at the moment. And sometimes that noise and that exuberation that we feel to get out there, get going, get moving, it can kind of block our alignment, because I feel with this image, I feel there's a sense of you want to move. The swing moves. but there's almost a sense that Spirit's saying, allow yourself to feel that, but it's not time to move yet. There's this real energy of not time to move yet. And I wanted, you know, I had already picked up my cards when Spirit said to me, hang on a minute, you haven't gone through them. And I still haven't gone through them. So there's this sense of almost skipping ahead before you've actually even sort of taken on board, you know, what's around you. And it's funny because as I was saying that, I touched the heal your masculine aspect, and I feel that that's why this card is here, because action is a very masculine energy. And there's a sense here that you might be tapping into that, Pisces. That might be the energy that's surrounding you in January. It's almost like it's a new year. It's a one. The fire horse here's energy hasn't started yet, but it's ramping up because it's really only, you know, a couple of months away, not even. So let's go from there. But lots of energies already, lots of information already, lots of busyness, you know, talking fast, like I've already calmed down now, but you know, the noise and the excitement in my voice and that needing to get going. So let's be mindful of that, Pisces. So you've got the Three of Swords, the Eight of Swords, the Hanged Man. You've got the Eight of Cups. You've got the Queen of Cups, the King of Wands, the Page of Swords, the Knight of Pentacles. Now I just want to bring to your attention, you've got the four suits, the four elements: water, fire, air and earth, cups, wands, swords, pentacles. And you've got each of the court cards. So you've got the Queen, the King, the Page and the Knight. That's actually really interesting. I don't think I've ever seen it in that lineup before. And I like the way that it is positioned. It's very interesting the way that it's positioned. Okay, let's carry on. You've got the Seven of Wands. You've got the Nine of Swords, the Tower and the Moon. Okay, so I can tell you straight up, Pisces, January, you do not have the clarity to go for it, to just move. You've got the slowest night. Okay, this Knight is standing still. He's not moving. The Knights are actions. They're the actions we take out into the world with the information that we receive from the page. But he's not moving. And that does create some angst for you. Okay. So thank you, Spirit, because having started like that, you know, going through the cards, I didn't see this lineup, but now this means something different. The messages that I'm getting for it are much clearer than how they came through earlier. So you're really, Pisces, you're really in the Hanged Man in January. Apart from the Tower and the Moon, you've got three major arcana. But this is the energy that Spirit is putting you in. And Spirit's saying you're in the Hanged Man because there's a Tower and a Moon. Okay? We are still in the snake year until, I'm sure it's the 17th. So let's say the middle of February. We are still shedding. And I feel, Pisces, that you're still got a lot of shedding to do. There's those final things that are falling away. But because the Queen of Cups is here, they're the deep things. Okay, so this Hanged Man spirit is helping you, I wanted to say putting you, but Spirit said we do create the environment that you need. Like the universe helps you, your higher self helps you. But it's up to you how you view that. So Pisces, I think a lot of you are going to view this as the word I'm getting through is like punishment. You know, it's almost like, Spirit's given me the word punishment, and then it's shown me a little story of a child that has a bag of lollies, and the parents have said, now that's enough, and taken the lollies away. And the child feels like it's being punished. It feels like, oh, they don't love me, or it doesn't feel like it's been bad, but it just feels like it's a little misunderstood. It didn't get its way. So it feels sad, and it feels a little bit blocked in what it wants to receive, and it's not being allowed to receive it. And I think Spirit's given me that story, if you like, Pisces, because that's kind of how you're going to feel. That's kind of what the universe is doing. We understand, the parents are doing it out of love. If the parents didn't care, it would be like, yeah, kid, go eat all the bag of lollies. If you end up with a tummy ache, well, you end up with a tummy ache, But because, there's love there and there's care, and the parents would be like, okay, well, we're going to make you miserable by taking the bag of lollies away, but it's better than you being sick. It's better than you having a tummy ache. It's better than the sugar rush you're going to get, and then you probably will get grounded because you're going to be so hyper, you'll be naughty. Do you know what I mean? So there's a sense here, Pisces, that without this Hanged Man energy, you could land yourself into a bit of hot water. Okay? And that can simply mean charging off in a direction that is not right for you. You're trying to continue to build on a shaky foundation that is no longer for you. So what can that look like? Well, that can look like getting into contracts at work, signing on the dotted line for a rental or a purchase of a home or a car or something tangible. But it can be all these things that we tie ourselves to. It could be getting a loan to go off and do this thing that you've been wanting to do. But very quickly you'll find that, oh no, actually, now there's something better that's coming along. And it's not saying that it's better, but it'll be more aligned, or it would be simpler. The house maybe that you're really fighting to sign for might be a lot more expensive, and or maybe further away than you wanted. So you want it. There's something that makes you want it. Oh, I want to grab that. I want this. But, when you stop and think about it, there are not red flags exactly, but there are just things that it is going to make that choice difficult in your life. It's going to bring some form of difficulty. Whereas if you just wait, the next option that comes along, there's an ease and a flow with it. This is really important, Pisces. I feel like all the messages are about this in your reading. But you're going to feel a little bit like, almost like defeated. With these two energies, I'm just feeling that you're really begrudging this Hanged Man. You kind of really want to fight for whatever it is that you're wanting, that you're looking at the moment. And this is something that you were looking at maybe for the last couple of months, but definitely started in December. You know, and after this energy, you've got this Eight of Cups. And this is, it's not that you're walking away just yet, I don't think. And it's almost, thank you, Spirit. I was getting the sense that you're not walking away from something. Normally my Eight of Cups is very much you're walking away. You're leaving where you're at and you're moving forward. And that's not the energy that I'm getting for this Eight of Cups in your reading, Pisces. I'm getting the fact that this is something shiny that you wanted. This is something that you saw of great value. But you are in this Hanged Man energy. You are going to stop. You're going to turn your back on it. Don't think you're walking away just yet, because I think with this Knight of Pentacles, you actually don't know in what direction you're walking in. So I really want to say, this is a general reading, Pisces, but if this is about a job, it's basically that's the only job you've applied for, or that's the only job that you've seen that really you felt suited you, or it's the only house that you've seen in a long time that you wanted to buy or rent. It's a car that you've been looking at that you really wanted. So it's something that you've had your eye on and you've said, that's what I'm working towards. But Spirit saying, no, you need to change your perspective on whatever this thing is that you saw as a bit of a prize. This is the Eight of Cups, not the Ten of Cups. So yes, there will be fulfillment in this, but it's not aligned like a Ten of Cups would be. There's a pivot. Thank you, Spirit. I was going to say there's a pivot, but Spirit said to me it's not even a pivot. It's just you've got to let that go. Whatever that is. And I think you know that. And I think that's why you've got this Eight of Swords, Nine of Swords directly on top of each other. There's a sense here that every time you go to maybe sign the document, or, you know, somebody's sick and they move the appointment time away, or something happens and you can no longer get there, or, you know, the date gets changed. And deep down in those quiet moments, you're like, oh, it's starting to feel like it's not meant to be. And that's because this Queen of Cups, you know, she's kind of saying, look, I've already got an extra cup here. This is an 8. Pause, wait. The Queens are receptive. They're that energy where, you know, the pages receive the information, they receive the opportunity via the Aces. And they're new, they're young, they're inexperienced, they can see the opportunity, they're curious. But they don't quite know what to do with it, so there's a bit of learning that comes with a page. There's a bit of evaluation. And then when we get to the Knights is, okay, I've got now a little bit of knowledge. I've looked at this opportunity, and I don't have it all figured out, but I can see my next steps. I'm going to take my next step. And then it's the Queen. So you take a step or two, and then you pause for a minute and see what comes back. And then from that you learn, okay, do I need to tweak things? And then when we get to the King is that energy of being of service, because we've figured it out. We can put things out in the world. We can see the full potential, and through the Queen, we receive the ability to bring it in and then put it out into the world. And there's a sense here that the Queen of Cups, the Queen of fulfillment, the Queen of emotions, and this is emotional, but you're going to, which is interesting because you're a water sign, Pisces, you know, you're fluid, but for some reason I'm seeing you quite rigid in the month of January, and I'm wondering if it's because you had these ideas building in you, and you thought, gosh, come January, it's like this gate's going to open and I'm just going to be able to go for it. But the energies are not quite that yet. And so there's this feeling a little bit of being a bit deflated. But the Queen comes first in this line of court cards, which I think is, like I was saying, I really like the way these are lined up. And that's because if you can pause, even if you can't manage to make yourself stop, but if you can at least pause, just sit with it. Maybe talk about it, because the swing is still in motion. And maybe talk to different people about it. Like, I'm talking different people that you know that won't agree, people that you know will probably give you different opinions. Sit with yourself and look at the different opinions that are coming up in you. Because I feel like there's a lot of information. You've got a lot of swords. The Page of Swords has received the Ace of Swords, which is downloads and information, ideas. They haven't come at this stage yet. But with the Queen of Cups here, and because this is the Eight of Cups, there is a deep emotional knowing that a pause is required. And this is interesting energy whenever we get the Queen, you know, the Queen comes before the King, but then we've got the Page and the Knight afterwards. You know, there's a sense here that when you receive the information to wait, it's going to really change what fires you up. So the way I'm seeing this Queen of Cups, King of Wands energy in your reading is whatever you wanted, whatever you saw as, yep, this is how I want to start my year. I want to start it there, or I want to start it in this job, or I want to start it in this home, or I want to start it with this energy, or whatever it is, Pisces, for you. Take what I'm saying and then apply it where it fits in your life. There's a sense here that when you pause and really reflect, there's this deep kind of feeling that causes you a little bit of anxiety that is kind of going, hey Pisces, are you sure? There's a doubt, and it's almost like you want to charge past that because you don't want to look at it, because if you doubt that, you kind of feel like, oh, well, that was it. But then you've got the King of Wands. The Wands is fire. It is our passion. It is our calling, our purpose. What drives us? It's our will. And when you understand what this doubt is, where this doubt is coming from, what it stems from, what it's calling you to look at, you'll realize that it's not in alignment with your fire. It's not in alignment with what fires you up. And when that happens, because remember, the kings put things out in the world. So what is required of you here, Pisces, is not action so much, though the kings are action driven. You know, they're very much the masculine energy. They put things out into the world. They're the doing energy along with the knights. But there's a sense here that what you'll be putting out into the world is that aha moment of, oh, I can see how it's not aligned. I can see how that was aligned with maybe a previous me, or a me that existed years ago. You know, maybe you told yourself in your 20s, I'm going to live here one day, and the opportunity finally came up and you're like, oh, well, I've always wanted this. But is it what you want now? Is this version of you wanting that particular thing? Judging by this reading, Pisces, I say I think not. But that's for you to decide. Because then we have the Page of Swords and the Knight of Pentacles. Now this is the idea that comes in. This is this little knowing. Because the swords are our mind, our intellect, it's our downloads. It's our inspirations. And suddenly you realize, actually, do you know what? I'm inspired by something a bit different. I want something a bit different now, but it's not fully formed. So I can't go out and get it yet. This knight is standing still. So there's a sense, Pisces, of do you just go out and get what's in front of you now? Or do you pause and stop and go, do you know what? I could grab that. But if it's not aligned with where I'm going, what does that mean? And there's so many journaling prompts that you could do with all these questions that I'm asking you, Pisces, and that might actually help you. Because this knight is standing still. So the Knight of Pentacles, he has the seed. But he's unsure yet. I need to find the land that is the best suited for this seed. He is methodical. He is crossing his T's or he's dotting his I's and crossing his T's. He wants to get this right because it is meaningful. It is inspiring. It is heart-led. It is fulfilling. It is passion-driven. And this is tangible. So this is something tangible in your life. You know, this is your emotions, this is your will and your passion, this is your inspirations and your ideas. Okay, they're not tangible. This is tangible. So there's a sense here that pause, because what you're going to be doing throughout 2026 is discovering yourself anew. And when we discover ourselves anew, well, what we want changes, doesn't it? Where we're heading changes. And I think that's why you've got this lineup. Because every time you discover yourself anew, every time you rest and review your path, there's almost going to be like this, okay, I don't know what's happening. Pisces, with this 7 of Wands, 9 of Swords, this is, don't fight for what is trying to fall away to make space for the new. Don't be anxious about what's falling away. Spirit is clearing your path. Your higher self, the universe, is clearing your path. Look at these swords. You can't move forward. You can only take steps back. There's almost this sense, Pisces, with this 7 of Wands, is almost like at the moment, so through January, just try not, I'm getting the word engage. Don't engage with too many choices. Don't engage with too many life-changing decisions. It's going to take away a lot of stress from your life. Stress that you don't need at the moment. Okay? You're operating through this Hanged Man, Tower and Moon energy. Hanged Man is calling you to see things from a different perspective. It is calling you to look at how you've changed, who you are now. Not who you were years ago, maybe when this dream formed. And I think that all through January, you're going to have these little tower moments that I think could be one big one if you fly down the path that you're on. There's some re-evaluating that needs to be done. There isn't the clarity yet. And the reason why there isn't the clarity with this moon is because the opportunities haven't come. They're coming. They are coming. But remember, you're being asked to discover yourself anew. You're being asked to rest and review your path. So at every stage, you're being asked to go, okay, then how do you feel about that? How aligned is that? What do you see long-term? What do you see short-term? Can you commit to that? Why do you want to commit? Not a lot of clarity, and there's a lot of things that are still shifting in your world. You've got heal your masculine aspect. Evaluate, determine, and act. Act is last. This energy here is really asking you to look within, to be guided by those little quiet nudges that you get when you're in this Hanged Man. Very blue card. Listen to your thoughts. Listen to what you're saying to other people. You might find yourself saying to other people, oh gosh, you know, I can't lose this opportunity. I've wanted this since forever. You know, okay then, but do you want this right now? Or is it just that you can tick something off your bucket list that you made years ago? The more observant you can be of yourself, what you're saying to others, what you're feeling, because you are being nudged, Pisces, will really help you in the month of January. And like I said to Aquarius in their reading, they had these cards around the other way, but they said, look, 2026 is next year, like this. Well, I'm doing this reading in December to get them out before January, but this year is the 2026 now, and it's a 1 year, and then one is January, the first month of the year. So there's a sense that January is going to carry through a little bit of energy that is going to follow you through all of 2026, and not just you, Pisces, all of us. 2026 is going to be a year, for me, the energies that I'm picking up on it, the messages that Spirit is giving me, 2026 is going to be a year of trial and error. We are building a new foundation. How big do we want it to be? How solid? Where do we want to lay that foundation? And how do you do that? Look inside and rise. Allow the emotions in you. This Queen of Cups, she can go deep within herself, and she gains so much information from doing that. At each turn you are going to be discovering yourself anew. At each turn. But it does require you to look within. And then you've got rest and review your path. Assess what is and isn't working in your life. That's very much this energy here. The Queen of Cups, the Hanged Man, the Page of Swords, even the Knight of Pentacles. He's assessing, he's re-evaluating, he's reviewing. Take a moment to pause. Allow what's swirling in you to come up. Listen to it. Take it into account. Because your path is going to change every time you discover yourself anew. And this, I think I said that to Aquarius as well, these two cards together are alignment. Each time we change, our path changes. We recalibrate. And we do this all the time, Pisces, but January and the year in 2026 is going to be a year where we've dismantled everything. We've let so much go in 2025. So now in 2026, things are going to come in. We might try them on for size, and then we might discard them. I'm already, feeling that, a lot of businesses will offer something and then we'll change. I think I'm going to be doing the same, We'll start off in a direction, we'll take a few steps, and we'll pause and reevaluate. How does that sit? And then we might go, actually, that needs tweaking. Let's tweak it a little bit. So next year we're working a 1. But, the 5 is a year of change. But next year I feel like there's going to be change, not like a 5 year. Because nothing's set in stone. But it's thank you, Spirit. It's going to be a very transformative year for you, Pisces. Very transformative. Okay. Oh my gosh. Look at this, Pisces. Surrender to the pulse that moves you forward. Surrender to the pulse that moves you towards your creative destiny, a life of great purpose. And that's this. Surrender to what brings you joy. Your pulse is your wands. That's that passion. That's that thing that gets you going and moving. Queen of Cups, the swords. That's that creative energy. And then this Pentacle is, that's how you birth your creativity into the world, but there is a surrender. You know, the Hangman is asking you to surrender to that pulse, that little bit of knowing that is guiding you somewhere different. It's almost like, oh, do I want to look or not? You know, it's very much this energy. But she seems to be maybe a little bit more fun. She's in the water, she's splashing her face. You know, maybe she's like, you know, I'm just going to splash my face with some fresh water and get a fresh perspective. Beautiful, Pisces. Let go of fear through meditation. Purify yourself so you are a magnet for your true heart's desires. Yes, Pisces, because your true heart's desires are changing and evolving as you do. Oh, my beautiful Pisces, I'm going to leave you with those messages. Take very good care of yourselves. Stay mindful, stay open, stay free and happy, and allow this new information, allow yourself to be guided to what's right for you in this moment. Sending you much love and light, my friends. I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.